Welcome, and thank you for choosing Ceres. This is the installation of the Ceres CycleGlide.
Please do not use this as a replacement for the instruction manual. Always consult the instruction manual before installing this rack.
Before you begin, choose a location for your CycleGlide. We're going to install our CycleGlide in the garage, but you can install it anywhere that you wish to save space by storing bicycles overhead, as long as there's adequate ceiling space.
The ceiling space allocated for the CycleGlide should be at least 6 feet wide by 6 feet deep and at least 11 inches from the wall. Keep in mind that head clearance will be diminished when the bikes are hanging, so choose a location out of the way of normal traffic flow to avoid any collisions. It looks like this spot would be a great space for the CycleGlide. Now that we've chosen a space, let's get started. First, lay out the parts on a clean, flat surface. The contents in the box include 2 76-inch ceiling tracks, 4 55-inch gliders, 8 hook assemblies, 10 2-inch screws for the ceiling tracks, 12 end caps, 24 small screws for the end caps, 8 wheel sets, 10 E-rings, 8 headed pins. You will also need a measuring tape, a Phillips head or 1/4-inch screwdriver, safety glasses, a stud finder, a hammer, a nail, pliers, an electric drill, a chalk line or marker, and a straight edge or carpenter's square. You will also need a ladder that is high enough to allow you to easily access the ceiling where you're installing your CycleGlide. To begin this installation, we need to mount the ceiling tracks. This is the most critical step of the installation. Properly mounting the ceiling tracks is important for the function of the CycleGlide system, as well as to ensure its load carrying capacity. Follow the instructions carefully. Though not necessary, an extra set of hands would be helpful for this step. Start out by determining the location of the ceiling joist. For this installation, our ceiling joists are perpendicular to the nesting wall. If yours are parallel, please consult the instruction manual for mounting instructions. 16 and 24 inches on center are both standard spacing from joists. If you don't know which yours are, you can use a tape measure and stud finder to determine the spacing. In our case, the spacing is 16 inches. Using the stud finder, locate and mark the positions of the ceiling joists. Make a straight line on the ceiling to mark the location for mounting the first ceiling track. A framing square placed against the wall will help ensure your line is perpendicular with the joist. Next, choose a ceiling track spacing that will work best for your location. Options are 16, 24, 32, 40, or 48 inches. Use the widest spacing possible for the best stability and performance of the system, keeping in mind that bicycles can extend beyond the gliders that will run in the ceiling tracks. Make sure to leave enough space on either side so that the bicycles will not interfere with walls or other obstacles. With the space we have, we can use 48 inches between the tracks. Make a second line on the ceiling the chosen distance away from the first line. Find the edges of each joist. Then locate the center of the joist to ensure a good anchor. Repeat this process for each joist. Using the wood screws provided, mount the 76-inch ceiling tracks to the ceiling joist, centered directly on the lines you just made. Remember to leave 11 inches from the wall. Start with the center screw. Screw it to the ceiling, leaving enough space between the screw head and the wall to slide the ceiling track over the screw using the keyhole slide. Make sure at least 1 inch of the screw threads engage the ceiling joists. Now secure the remaining screws. Repeat for the second ceiling track. Install the end caps to the ceiling tracks on the side facing the nesting wall. Now it's time to assemble the gliders. Install the wheel set pins into the slots that correspond to the ceiling track spacing. We used 48-inch spacing, so we will install a wheel set pin here and here. To install a wheel set, feed a wheel pin through the appropriate slot, from the bottom up. Set a wheel set over the top of the pin and secure them together with the E-ring using pliers. Recess the E-ring into the pocket of the wheel set. Repeat with the second wheel set. Install an end cap onto the glider using number 2 screws. Slide 2 hook assemblies onto the glider. Install an end cap to the other side of the glider. Repeat the process with the rest of the gliders, installing 2 wheel sets, 2 hooks, and both end caps to each remaining glider. Install the gliders onto the ceiling tracks by sliding the wheel set assemblies into the open ends of the ceiling tracks. After all gliders are set in place, secure the final 2 end caps onto the ceiling tracks. Now we are ready to store the bicycles. Lift the bicycle upside down and rest the wheels into the wheel hooks, front wheel first. When leading multiple bicycles, alternate the direction of the bicycles to avoid handlebar interference. And that's the installation of the Ceres CycleGlide.
To learn more, give us a call or visit us online at ceres.com.